I think that I'm live pretty soon, right? Something should be popping up so that I could choose it. There we go. All right, I feel pretty good. I just want to say hi to everyone that's tuning in, that's not catching this live, and just want to say that I'm very grateful for you guys that watch the stream after because, you know, I know that I've taken some time off a couple times. A few months that I took off to do some work with Tony, and then I took another couple months off when I was in the hospital. And so I know it's hard to get some of those listeners back, but I just want to say to the to the 60 to 100 people that still listen every day, I am very grateful for you guys. And if there's ever a stream that you guys can share, that would be awesome, and maybe it'll give some encouragement to to somebody, to get through the day. And like I know that a lot of times I talk about truth topics, that potentially trigger people, right? I think that we can get away with some of that, right, by saying that, I believe every word of the Bible, right, from start to finish. So whatever has to be not true in the world, right, for the Bible to exist, well, then I believe that that's not true in the world. So if there's anything that conflicts, right, whether it's, truth topics that trigger people or not, right, then that's what I believe. And so um, if it helps, you could tell people that I'm a literal Bible believer, and so that's good. And so I'm just waiting for the first couple of people to show up, and please put something in the box so that I know that that someone is there, number one, and that the sound is good. You know, I want to slow down here for a minute. Hey, more than a flame, I'm happy that you're here. And so I want to start off and say, hey, Alex D, that's awesome. And it really helps to have a couple of people in the chat so that the stream actually goes a little bit better. And so I wanted to start off by saying this, right? I've thought of a lot of different subjects to talk about um, for this stream, right? What do I want to talk about? Do I have to take a certain position on certain things, right? Do I have to get involved in certain matters, right? Um, who knows, right? What I'm supposed to do. I just know that I'm not here to live for Stephen, right? I'm here to live for God, right? I'm here for His pleasure, and that's it, right? I ask myself every day, I know that I don't deserve heaven, right? And why me? Why was I chosen to be able to accept the grace, right? Like why? Oh, here, let me give you a blue I made you blue there more than a flame. I make everybody blue here, So it's like, and this is what I said, not to be repetitive of what I said yesterday, as far as like, wow, I'm grateful to even be forgiven so where I could go to heaven, right? To where God gave me a chance to really start over and not only be forgiven by God, right? Which is the only forgiveness that matters, right? But I was able to forgive myself of a lot of things in the past, right? And that gave me a lot of freedom, a lot of freedom to, um, I used to have thoughts like, I have this much time left to live, and how much have I really accomplished, and, how much more time do I have left, are my kids taken care of, right? Which I still think about today on a daily basis, right? Even though they're adults. But it's like I used to gauge my life on trophies, accomplishments, achievements, right? And now I don't. I like ever since 4 years ago, right? And I was a Christian, 10 years at least before that, right? But 4 years ago, when all the truth topics started coming out, and I started to like realize about, um, that the Bible is literally true. This is for real, for real. It's not just belief anymore. I'm getting full confirmation that God is real. I went down a lot of rabbit holes that were very scary, thinking that other things might be real, right? And I'm glad that Jesus Christ is the real deal, right? That's the number one reason to believe in anything, is if it's true, right? And so I am so happy for his sacrifice and his grace that allows me to qualify to get into heaven, right? Which is embarrassing to even say, right? Like, I'm going to go to a place that I definitely don't deserve, right? And so I just want to start off by saying that, right? And then I want to say, secondly, I'm a human being, right? I'm not perfect. I'm not going to have the perfect interpretation of things. I'm not going to be able to tell you, I won't be able to speak for God, right? That's not what I can do. And really, I'm not really called to teach, right? I don't even feel called to do that. There are other people in my life and other channels that I follow that are way better at teaching the Bible than me. And whenever I run into a little jam, I always run to these people. I'll go see Paula, or I'll see Shepherd's Voice, or I'll go see, a couple of other pastors that I really like. I like Pillar of Truth Chapel. I mean, for a mainstream guy, I like, I forget his name now, Dr. Kim or whatever. I mean, for a mainstream guy, I like him, but here I don't. But not I don't really think of one person having all the truth except God, right? And so yeah, while I do trust people, right, to a high degree, there's some people I trust a lot, right, in my life, right? And then I have friends in real life, of course, that I'll go to for counsel on things in the Bible that I need to be sharpened up on. I mean, I will say for the last 4 years that, I've been reading the Bible for, sometimes hours a day, for, for 4 years now, right? And so I'll say this, right? While I do know, I'm comfortable with what I know for me, and I'm comfortable with what I know because I know I'm going to open that. I know I'm going to open the book or put it on an audio Bible today. I'm comfortable in the fact of what I know because I know that I'm going to learn more, and that's the only reason I'm comfortable, because I feel like I'm brand new, right? 4 years is not a long time. There's people that have been reading the Bible for 20, 30, 40 years. There's people that use lexicons. They don't even use concordance anymore, right? They speak Hebrew and Greek, and I mean, there's a lot of people, right, that have taught. See, and even John McCarthy has taught me a lot of things, even though I'm not a lordship salvation guy, right? Like even him, I don't think he has all the truth, and he's a very smart, educated guy. He's so educated on the Bible, right? Beyond what anything I can achieve, right? And you can have disagreements even with those people, right? What I try not to do is, pick out a couple verses that like suit what I want to do and then do it, right? I want to be careful with that, right? And any time, right, that I give any type of like advice to anybody, right, I'm definitely not coming from the position of, hey, I'm better than you, and this is what the way it is or whatever, because I could be wrong, right? I always come with the intention. My spirit automatically feels, hey, we're equal in this thing called life, right? And we got to figure this out, and if I could be helpful because maybe I've done a little more here and you've done a little more there, and we can help each other out, or you have the gift of pointing out people that are like taking advantage of other people or something, and I'm good at like consoling people and encouraging people and protecting people, right? Maybe there's other people that are good at like math and they could scrutinize videotape, and they're good at finding lies in the real world, right? Like there's people with different abilities, right? And so while there's people out there that know the Bible back and forth, right? Like say like John MacArthur. I mean, I hate saying his name like that, right? Because I have learned a lot from him, right? Even a guy like that, right? I disagree on his salvation, only because I know that my salvation is paid for by the blood of Jesus Christ, And that's not something that has anything to do with me, other than the fact that they ask me to believe and have faith that that happened. And I do. I believe that I could picture a man dying and coming back to life and going around and with many witnesses and ascending to heaven. I could picture that. I could picture that really happening. And it's not always just with robes on and, back in the day. And I picture sophisticated people, probably, who knows, man, if they had blue jeans on back then, who knows all the lies we've been taught, who knows, man, their life could have been exactly like this life. Who knows, right? And so I just want to say that the more I learn about the truth, right, the more I learn about the truth, right, the more I know that I don't know anything. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. The more I know about the truth of this world, the more I know that I don't know anything. And so, yeah, there's only 3 people in this chat right now. And I want to say this, right, that these are probably the 3 people that I could count on, These are probably 3 people that I could count on if I'm in trouble, And these are 3 people that you guys can count on each other. Because the more the truth comes out and you start saying things, you don't say things that people want to hear anymore, right? And you say something that might hurt, right? Well, you end up with a lot less people, right? And these are the people that are in this chat left here after speaking all that truth of really what I know and what I don't know, right? I don't know a whole lot. All I know is that I'm here for God, right? I'm not even here for myself anymore. What I do in life, my achievements mean nothing to me, right? Because really I measure my life by how happy I think I made God, right? Sometimes I get confirmation that he's happy with me. Sometimes I don't, Sometimes I have to just go by the word, right? And say, I hope I'm doing this stuff, And every day I can say that there's probably, a time where you could catch me not doing it, right? Now, I would say by human standards, I walk the walk, right? But I never feel like I've been good enough, And these are things that that I want people to know, that when I talk on these tapes, right? I know that not many people have been listening lately because, I have taken some time off a couple of times, right? And you lose some pretty loyal people that way, right? But a lot of people catch on replay, and I'm happy to have that, right? And I'll say that you're just getting my what's on my heart, I'm not called to teach the word. I could point you to some better people. But if there's a flock in here, even though you might be part of someone else's flock, right? I still take it seriously, that whoever's in here, I owe them the truth, right? I owe them the truth that's on my heart. If I get, if I make a mistake, then I make a mistake. And then I endeavor to do better, right, tomorrow. And I want to live every day like that, right? Where I know that I'm going to get something eventually in life, right? God has paid the price for me to have everlasting contentment, right? And I can't wait to wash feet. You know what I mean? If that's my job in heaven is to wash feet. Tom brought that up to me one day, that he had a friend that said that, and it really stuck into my heart. And even if they made me king of something up there, which I mean, it embarrasses me to even think about something like that, but I would still wash feet, I think, like I'm just so grateful, right? Because life, instead of me counting up all the achievements that I made and all the failures that I have, how much time left and and all that nonsense, right? How much money I have, or how many trophies I have in life, right? None of that matters to me. I feel like I'm sitting on a lottery ticket, like 20 million lotteries, right? And that when I die, or when God comes back, that's when we cash it up. And it's going to be better than I ever thought. I had one friend, right, that she had a near death experience, right? And she said that when she died, right, that if that feeling is how you feel when you die, then it's a remarkable feeling, you know. And while I don't put a lot of stock in a lot of that stuff, right, but I've had two people that said they had near death experiences, and all I asked them was, "Hey, how did you feel?" And they said it was amazing, better than better than anyone can describe. And that's all I want. Like, that's all I want. I just want to feel good, you know? My whole life it's been like that, right? I I feel like no matter how I'm feeling, I want to feel some other kind of way. And I never felt like I fit in, even though nobody ever told me that I wasn't cool. I mean, people always treated me like I was cool, but I just never felt cool, you know? And I always came up with ideas that seemed to upset the group, right? Like it seemed to go against authority or something, right? Not in a criminal way. I mean, sometimes I would think about it like that, I guess, but just in a way that's like, hey, it'd be more beneficial for us. We would get more if we did this, you know? And people would be scared to go against like the queen bee, you know? The whoever's in charge, right? And so it's crazy, right? It's like there are a group of people they make up the overwhelming majority of people, right? They would rather be within the safety of the group, right? The majority, than to do the right thing. They would rather believe things that are just absolutely absurd, right? Than than to accept the truth, right? I mean, there's people that think that on what is it on Venus that it's either on Venus or Uranus or whatever. It's like raining diamonds, right? That's I mean, this is what they say, right? That's what the heliocentric garbage says, right? I mean, what I mean, there's people that believe that. Smart people, educated people, probably have some letters after their name, right? A title, right? Maybe they're called doctor, right? And it's like it's insanity, right? There is a field of study called astrobiology. I mean, that's even to their standards and to their lives, there's nothing alive in their model, right? Like it's so absurd to me now. Like what people will choose to believe that what a rain cloud was flying over a flying rock in a vacuum and rained on a rock and like somehow like lightning came from somewhere and hit a puddle and life started and we all came from the same self-replicating cell. Like not only is it not smart to believe that, right? Is it even reasonable to believe that, right? And so it just is what it is, right? And see, like to you and me, right? We love the truth, right? This is all we want to talk about is the truth. I want to turn on a radio station or a podcast like this, right? When I'm done, right? Where I get to hear all the truth and feel comfortable, right? And then I come and bring it here, you know? And sometimes I have to go to some places that are hostile to Christians, right? And, you know, pick up pieces here and there or whatever. And then I bring it back here and in a safe environment for Christians to be in, right? And maybe you don't need me to do that, but I mean, I feel like that's my service, right? You're right. Satan is in charge of this world, you know? And, you know, and it's a satanic lie, everything, right? They don't even have to teach us an origin story at all, right? They could teach us about the muscles in the arm or something, or teach us about shellfish or, you know, whatever's in the ocean, like under a microscope. They never have to teach us an origin story. When you learn that the reason why us as children, as babies, that we are learning a satanic lie origin story, and that there's people that are very educated and lies. And I'm almost of the opinion that I know that most people are deceived, but I'm almost of the opinion that a lot of these people that have these PhDs, they know that it's a lie. And they know what's at stake. And they probably have duping delight that we believe this crap, you know? I mean, I don't anymore. I mean, it's not, I mean, the earth not being a ball isn't something I believe anymore. It's something I know, you know? Like, I wouldn't even open my mouth to say something like that if I didn't know it for sure. But I can't even convince people that I love, you know? like that love me, right? And it's just it's crazy, you know? And so, you know, let's skip that part, right? So I know it triggers people, but you know what? Here we accept all the truth. And there's no debates about any of that, right? Like it's just is what it is, right? And so like I'll just say that I'm not perfect, and I like to give a pretty good message every day, and you know uh, everything I say, you know, when it comes to God is are things that I've experienced in the Bible, right? Of course, you could read verse that you could cherry pick and make things sound the way you want, and you know the Bible's like that in a way, right? But like truly in context, you know, it's like I just do my best, you know, and I know that I'm going to try to do better. I want to do better every day. And if I ever say anything to anybody, this is one thing I want to touch on, right? Because I don't want anyone to ever feel offended if I like give like advice or say something that like maybe I see, right? Like I'm not coming from a position of that I think I have any authority over you. I'm coming at this as that we are all equal and we're all learning together and we're all trying to figure life out, and we all have different gifts, right? You might know some books better than me, and I might know some books better than you, right? And yeah, oh yeah, and to tell you the truth, like I probably read Romans like 40 times, I don't know, at least 30, but like you know, it's everything is coming true, right? Like like God, let God's word be true and every man a liar, right? That's coming true, right? Uh, God, like the wisdom of this world is just foolishness now, right? Um, you know, there's people that think themselves wise and they're fools, right? It's like it's all coming true, right? In a way that I didn't think, you know, because like I remember like reading about Revelation when they were talking about like, you know, and I hate paraphrasing the Bible, you know, I just can't look it up while I'm on the phone, but is that you know we're going to be in jail 10 days and then get our heads chopped off basically, you know, for not taking the mark or I don't know something, right? So and doesn't that sound like quarantine time? Because I was always thinking, wow, man, 10 days, that doesn't seem like a long time, you know? Like why is God saying we're going to go to jail 10 days, you know? But that sounds like, hey, you're going to refuse the shot, that's your quarantine time. And then you know, if you don't take it, when you come out you get killed or something, you know? Who knows, right? Who knows? And maybe you know, like maybe this you know jab is the precursor to the mark, you know, or maybe it is. Who knows, right? I mean, yeah, the mark could be spiritual too in nature, right? I know that it says I know that Paul is here, which is that's good that she's here, because she knows the Greek and the Hebrew and all that stuff, right? Like does it say that it's a mark in the skin, right? Is that important? Oh yeah, Shepherd's Voice is here too. Yeah, trial for 10 days. A trial, yeah, I guess, yeah, it doesn't mean jail, but there's going to be some kind of trial for 10 days, right? And so does the mark have to be in the skin, you know? And that's, so yeah, so then maybe it is spiritual, right? And then you have to take some kind of mark, you know, for them to be able to tell that you've done this, right? And it could be that too, you know, like more than one thing could be right, you know, like so I want people to know that if they're studying the Bible and they get something a certain way, you know, that's the whole point of having wise counsel, going to many people and asking about these things, right? Because you know we're all smart people, right? We wouldn't even be in this chat if we weren't smart people, you know. And I, you know, it embarrasses me to even say that about myself, right? Like Like maybe I'm above average or whatever, but like I know that you guys are smart. Most truthers that I've met are pretty smart, right? But sometimes we don't always have the same worldview when we're reading things, right? And so someone might be more awake than you know, for lack of a better term, right? And have a different worldview of more foundation of the truth, right? So where they're reading it a different way, possibly, you know? Because there was a time where I thought I couldn't take the Bible literally. Because in order for it to be true, I thought that it can't be literal because there's too many things that contradict it, right? And now that I know that everything's a lie, right? Now my worldview is that I could take it literal, right? And so, like, you know, maybe the difference between me knowing what I studied now and me understanding it differently later is finding out a different truth that has nothing to even do with the Bible, right? And so, right, and you know, more than a flame. That's awesome, right? You know, and that's what we're supposed to do. Hey, I welcome arguing in here, right? This might be your first time here. I welcome arguing in here because you know what? It sharpens each other up. The only rule I have, right, is at the end of the day, right, that you know we start fresh and we come back, you know, because if the minute we start arguing in here is the minute we start opening this road to be a lot wider, right? Hey, AJM, glad to see you, Bubba. The more we when we stop arguing, then it's like we open up the road to be wider, to accept more, right? And not that we don't want to accept people. I want to accept people in all conditions, right? To come in here, but they're gonna have to learn the truth, you know. I mean, and that's the only way. Oh, no! I didn't think that you were arguing. I was just saying, like, generally, in general. I'm sorry that I even mentioned you like that. Like, like I am grateful that you are here, and I want you to be here as much as you want to be here. You know, and so that I mean that for everybody. You know, and so I know this, right? The more you say the truth, especially things that a lot of people don't want to hear, the more you say the truth, the less people you'll have in the chat. But I also realize that the people you have left are people that can accept the truth. The type of people that will be there for you when you are in trouble. These are the people that, like, say one of you is having a problem. This is the group that'll probably reach out and help you. You know, and you know, I hate to say it like that, but that, you know, maybe that's how we are supposed to be to each other, especially when we think about the parable of the Good Samaritan. I mean, even think about like Jesus when you know, the harlot that was an adulteress, right? She was going to be stoned, right? And Jesus says he was without sin cast the first stone, right? Full protection, right? Like if you haven't sinned, then go ahead and start firing rocks at her, you know. When it comes to the lost, but when it comes to each other, right? I want us to be able to give each other instruction only because, like, our intention with each other is that, hey, I want you to be a better person, right? If you lost your shine, I want you to get it back, you know. And if I've lost my shine, I want you to tell me, you know. And listen, hey, as much as there's rules in the Bible, right? It says a lot more times in there, do not be deceived than anything. You know, so it's like sometimes I pray to God, I'm like, hey, I just want to do it your way. Like if I'm wrong about anything, just please help me. I submit, like I'll accept any kind of correction, right? To be better, right? I just don't want to you know, I don't want to be wrong anymore, you know. And so I just want to say that I love you guys, you know. It sucks that I gotta round out because, like, when things are like going pretty smooth and I really start connecting with a good group, you know, I really don't like to round out, but if I don't round out before 40 minutes, people won't click on it, you know. And yesterday we kind of got hacked. That was crazy. I was able to actually log off before they could get to my messages, but they were already like starting to like blur my messages and all that. Like it was it was a pretty harsh environment. I think that maybe we upset some people that definitely. Oh, hey, Cindy, I'm glad that you're here. And that's good. The more people, the better. Because it makes me feel happy to have a bigger group in here. Because I don't, I never really have a big group of people. I always think like I think of like all the people out there that have like big old 50 people, 100 people chats. And what they're saying is basically nonsense out there. And then you end up trying to like you study all night, right, for a half hour show. And you make several outlines of directions you want to take the show, right, and give an encouraging message each time, and bring a little truth, and maybe bring some current events, right. You work hard, right, and and you do that for 10 to 20 people. And I don't mind doing it. Like I said, I know that when you have a small group that's all truthers, these are the people that will be there for you. And I'll repeat that till the cows come home, because I know that to be true. Um, I mean the one what is it called? There's one that sticks with you closer than a brother. I forget, it's a proverb, right? I hate doing um, what I hate doing is paraphrasing, and it's like all these scriptures pop up in my head, but I don't know how to address like the address for them yet, because a lot of times I learn on audio Bible, while I'm reading along. But anyway, I just want to say that I love you guys, man. I'm grateful that you're here. I know that you've had experiences just like me, where that it's not a mistake when you end up in somebody's life, whether something's big or small. We're always in somebody's life to do something for somebody else, right? And the fact that there's so many of us together, right, makes me think that something big is going to happen pretty soon. But anyway, I love you guys. God bless. And most of all, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace and his forgiveness. And I just want to say goodbye to you all. I love you guys.